Investing where you like, subscribe, and share for a one-of-a-kind, company-made, computer software trading probability-based trading alert, technical analysis, and company philosophy. And I'm your most trusted source, as you're going to see here in a moment, for blockchain technology and cryptocurrency breaking news and coin updates here on YouTube and on the cryptocurrency sphere, as you're about to see why these words have never meant more. Old Vincenzo'S brought truth and integrity back into the trading market. And this is the reason why you become members of Jabroni Killers, to support the channel so we can continue to grow, and all the fun things that I will eventually be bringing on to the members of Jabroni Killers. But you can see Bitcoin mining capitulation price is $34,333-ish is where the price of Bitcoin has to be for people mining Bitcoin to make money, right? And that when miners capitulate and miners have to sell Bitcoin they've been buying and hodling to try to stay afloat, they dump a bunch of coins that are just sitting in their wallets onto the open market when the price is in a downturn, and it cascades and you get a liquidity crunch, and Bitcoin can drop 30 to 50% in just a day or two, right? And you're at the borderline again for the third time now since February of 2022 of coming to the capitulation price. And we've been warning that we have a summer of liquidity crunch, a liquidation event of a lifetime in Bitcoin this summer. We've been advertising it all year, and so far we haven't had a liquidity crunch yet, but the price is down at current price. Bitcoin's down 48% this year. I would call that a pretty significant crash, right? But if you get below that 34,000, you're going to have a liquidity crisis, right? In Bitcoin, and it's going to be a big problem. Big problem, right? And you can see, not over here, if we go into what we're talking about, like you were seeing at the start of the screen, with the intro, like we like to do, we like to bring our breaking news topics on the intro so you can see what we're going to be talking about and kind of get out ahead of what's happening here, right? And you can see if we go into here, take a look at what's going on here, right? Production costs for miners, which is what we're talking about, are around $34,000, right? $34,000 is the average around about cost. It goes up and down, but it's about the cost that it costs miners to mine Bitcoin to sell them into the open market and to continue to drive the price up, right? For profit. But if miners are selling it into the open market on coins they've been collecting, speculating the price is going to keep going up because they're making good profit on current price, it saps some of the supply, restraining it, inflating the price, right? But when the miners capitulate, if the price gets much below their break-even price for a long enough period of time, if it just does it for a few weeks, it won't matter. But if it does it for a few months, it matters. They got to start dumping all these coins into the open market. And when they dump these coins into the open market, it drives the price down. It acts to dilute the existing coins that are there, kind of like when the Federal Reserve prints money. It dilutes your dollars that you already have. Right, so it's $34,000 together with transaction fees. Miners need not worry about another $40,000 support challenge on Bitcoin. The Bitcoin mining business is bigger than ever at current price levels. Key at current price levels. Well, the current price now is at just above the 34,000. We're at about 36,000, right? So we're continuing to fall. And if we get a liquidity crunch like old Vincenzo thinks, or with a big price dump, they're going to be in big problems, right? And you can see from Cointelegraph, right, reveal that the break-even point currently stands at around $34,000, right? That's a big problem, right? The Bitcoin price is 38% lower than its all-time high, but when you have the Bitcoin price falling and you have hash rate increasing, the hash rate becomes more costly in comparison to the price of Bitcoin, so that's adding to the cost of the miner fee, right? So even as Bitcoin hash rate gets stronger, the stronger it gets, the more energy it's using, and if Bitcoin price isn't going up with it, that cost becomes more expensive in comparison to the price you're getting to sell the Bitcoin, and it becomes more of a weight on miners trying to profit while mining new Bitcoins, right? So that becomes more of a headwind into it, and it's weighing down miners and can capitulate miners, right? Bitcoin hash rate is coasting along at an all-time high, but the crypto asset value is 38% lower, right? At the time of this article, now it's 52% lower than it was now 6 months ago. This in turn has made it less profitable to mine Bitcoin, right? But it's still profitable at the time for bigger investors, but that's even getting harder and harder now as the price continues to fall, right? And then you can see miner capitulation numbers. Over the last 30 days, Bitcoin hash rate has been coasting along. The network's lifetime Bitcoin price improved recently, but it's still down 38%. And that's from the article back in February. But you can see you're going to get a minor capitulation, right? And it's not going to be good. And if we go look at uh, Bitcoin mining profitability charts, you can see what we're looking at. Here's Bitcoin mining profitability. You can see if we compare it with, you can see just if we overlay the price of Bitcoin, as Bitcoin goes up, the profitability goes up. But if you overlay it with the hash rate, right? Mining profitability, this is a pretty good website right here. I like average transaction, average transaction fees. See, the transaction fees it's been going good for the miners because it's been coming down. Anytime the transaction fees are up around the miner's profitability price, that's not good. That costs them money, right? But let's look at the hash rate. Where's the hash rate? I just seen it right here. Average hash rate per day. You can see the hash rate now in the dotted line is skyrocketing. You would like to see miners' profitability going up with the hash rate, right? That's usually very bullish. But when you start to see miner profitability crashing and hash rate uh, skyrocketing up, that means it's getting more and more costly for the miners to do what they need to do, and that can cause a liquidity crisis, right? And that's why I think Bitcoin. Same thing with Michael Saylor. That's why we pulled up Michael Saylor because he's a big time player. That if you get a liquidity crisis, he's a big time player with 126,000 Bitcoin that he would be forced to sell into the open market in a market that's falling, which would be even more headwind into it as miners capitulate into that, and that could drive the price up 10,000, right? And Michael Saylor would lose his company, and a lot of miners would go out of business, right? And it's a very, very challenging time, and there's a lot of things that could happen that you all need to be prepared for and paying attention for and understanding the real risk of what could happen this year when you put together too with the financial crisis, right? It's all a perfect storm playing in on itself, and the average retail trader doesn't understand what's actually taking place, and they're going to get fleece heisted and shysted. Like, subscribe, and share. Peace and love. Peace and love.